Hello and welcome to our Wellbeing Connection. My name is Joni Rampola. I'm one of the registered licensed dietitians with your Giant and Martin's. And today our topic is all about protein and protein for everyday energy. So what is protein, right? That just seems like the logical place to start. So protein is one of our main three macronutrients. So the macronutrients are protein, carbohydrates, and fat. And pretty much most foods break down to be one of those. Protein is built from about 20 amino acids. Amino acids are called the building blocks, like these Legos, for protein. But 9 of those amino acids are essential, which means our body can't produce them, so we need to get them in through diet. Protein is found in our body in every cell, organ, tissue, our hormones, like it's our building blocks of pretty much everything in our body. So there are many benefits to eating adequate protein. Ah, there's that steak on the grill. Gotta love it. Protein benefits. Protein helps manage our hunger hormones. So it supports feeling full after eating and remaining feeling satisfied between meals, therefore reducing that grazing behavior or mindless snacking. So if you find yourself always with cravings, sometimes adding more protein to your diet can help. It's vital to maintain our muscle mass and bone health and building strength in our body. It helps with glycemic control, and that is our blood sugar control, prevents that high spike and the low drop of blood sugar. And that may actually help stabilize mood and improve our focus due to that steady blood sugar. Protein supports our immune response because it forms antibodies. It's the basis of the antibodies that help our body fight off infection. So we need protein to stay healthy as well. And of course, we all know it as supporting our muscle. So it supports muscle maintenance, meaning you're not going to lose as much muscle mass if you're getting adequate protein in during weight loss or just aging, because as we age, we tend to lose muscle mass as well, and it helps with muscle repair. So why protein? We think of protein. I think we sometimes think of like a guy like this lifting heavy weights, but it's not just that. It's for pretty much everybody because it's the building blocks of our muscles, and we all have muscles. Eating adequate amounts of protein helps you maintain your muscle mass, promotes muscle growth when you do strength training, such as this guy, or growth like in pregnancy or other times you may be wanting growth. If you're physically active or lifting weights, you need protein to build muscle or gain weight. If your goal is weight loss, protein helps you preserve that muscle mass as you lose weight. So why protein? Even if you're not trying to gain weight or necessarily even lose weight, as we age, we naturally lose muscle mass. That happens. Getting adequate protein can help reduce that muscle mass that we naturally lose. Your muscles gradually weaken as we get older. So eating protein is one of the best ways to reduce that age-related muscle deterioration, and they call that sarcopenia. That's the healthcare name for that muscle deterioration. But you also need resistance exercise. It's not just eating protein. You have to do some kind of, whether it's weight training or using your own weight, like a squat or a sit-up or a pull-up, or even just walking more is important to maintain your muscle. So why protein? Protein helps your body repair itself after injury. Protein's the building block, again, as I said, of our tissues, our organs, and it helps your body recover from any type of injury faster. So what does protein have to do with energy? So we get our energy, our main energy, from the carbohydrates in our diet, not necessarily the protein. It doesn't give us that same quick burst of energy like a carbohydrate would, but it does stabilize your energy. So it's slow when you eat protein with your carbohydrates, it slows down the digestion of carbohydrates, which is good because that prevents that blood sugar spike from the carbohydrates. And once it spikes, it usually crashes. So it supports blood sugar, helps us use our energy in a balanced way, and supports our muscle mass for metabolism and endurance. And this is how protein helps keep our energy stable without needing that caffeine fix. So what are requirements? So this is a table that I call, so it's based on average weight of the individual, sex, and age group, but I'll just say, or average age, not weight, I'm sorry. But I'll just say this is what is the minimum you need to prevent deficiency, right? That's different than what do you really need. So this is how you prevent deficiency. If you're over 18, female, you need at least 46 grams. If you're a male, at least 56 grams of protein. So that doesn't take into account any of your goals, like I'm trying to change my weight, or I'm pregnant, or I'm doing some heavy exercising, or there are many different reasons why your protein requirements might change, or you have a disease state like kidney disease that maybe it's less. But this is your minimum of preventing deficiency. And then also just to point out, on a nutrition facts panel, which is the food label that's on every food item that tells you, oh, this percentage of protein, and they give a percentage. So that percentage is based on 50 grams because that's in between the male and female. And it's also based on a 2,000 calorie diet. So we know not everybody needs 50 grams and not everybody needs 2,000 calories. We're all a little different, but just want to understand where these numbers come from. So what is your protein requirement? So this is a general lecture. I don't know what your protein requirements are because it depends on your age, your weight, your gender, your body composition goals, and any health conditions. Some health conditions may require a low protein diet. So this isn't meant for you, but just trying to give you some reference for how to find out what your protein needs might be. So most people get between 10 and 15% of their daily calories coming from protein, which is generally enough to avoid deficiency. And many of us get well over our protein needs because of the quantity of food we eat. When we eat too much food, you're generally getting protein from lots of different sources and you're good. So recommendations are 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. We think of our body weight in pounds, not kilograms. So I did that conversion for you. And then it's 0.36 grams of protein per pound of body weight is the same thing as 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Just did the math differently so you can think about your own body weight and what would be that minimum that you need. And that's what that is. A great recommendation is 20 to 30% of calories, again, depending on your health goal. But for most people that are trying to lose weight, build muscle, or just aging and want to prevent that muscle wasting, that is a better number for protein requirements, between 20 and 30% of your calorie intake. So there's 4 grams of protein, 4 calories for protein per gram. So then you would just think, how many calories am I eating, and divide that by 4 and then figure out protein needs. And we're going to go to the next slide for some general guidance. And again, this isn't relating to you specifically. This is in general. General guidance is 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal, assuming that you eat 3 meals a day for most adults. So the recommended range is that minimum 0.36 to 0.55 grams per pound of body weight for general health, for highly active individuals. If you're very active or trying to gain muscle, it might even be a little higher, or for older adults. This is the range that we recommend. So if you are a sedentary woman weighing about 150 pounds, so again, this number may be a little bit higher if you're active or trying to gain muscle mass, but sedentary woman, 150 pounds, I'm going to times that by the 0.36, the low end of that range, and we come up with 54 grams of protein. And then the high end of that range, 0.55, we come up with about 83 grams of protein a day. So somewhere between 54 and 83 grams of protein would be a sedentary female weighing about 150 pounds. And protein is best utilized when you spread it throughout your day, not trying to cram it into one meal. So let's talk about the timing of protein, because I think that's important. Your body can use so much at once, so it's more effective to space that protein out throughout the day. There is no benefit to your body, meaning it can't use it if you're eating more than 40 grams at one sitting, right? That is the most that your body can actually use. After that, it gets stored as fat, as other things do. But you do want to try and include a little bit of protein in each meal, snack, especially at breakfast or post-exercise. And they call it front loading with protein. So that's having protein at breakfast helps avoid that mid-afternoon crash, keeps our energy strong, and breakfast can often be the one meal where we're missing protein. So this is a great way to spread it throughout your day and make sure that we feel good and have energy throughout our day as well. So what can I eat for breakfast is what I often hear. That's the hardest meal to get protein. It can be something like a quinoa bowl. So quinoa could be a replacement for like oatmeal, right? We could add Greek yogurt or berries or walnuts. It's a little bit higher protein than oatmeal, which is why it's there, but this could be oatmeal too. An omelet or an egg muffin. Great to get that steak or meat in there with your eggs, and then your veggies in there, maybe peppers, onions, mushrooms. It could be a peanut butter and jelly waffle, like a high protein frozen waffle topped with a nut butter, sliced strawberries, maybe a sprinkle of hemp or flax or chia to get that just little extra protein. It could be a yogurt parfait, Greek yogurt with some nut butter, apples, cinnamon. And if you haven't had Greek yogurt with a nut butter, like a peanut butter, it's something to try. It's pretty good. Whole grain toast can be topped with tofu or avocado or yogurt or peanut butter. Get some protein in that breakfast. A smoothie, you can make it and add your yogurt, your milk, your flax, your chia, your protein powder, whatever. And then I just pulled up this recipe, and all recipes that I'm showing today, and I will have a couple, they come from Savory, where you can find that on either your Giant or Martin's website. But cottage cheese pancakes, where you make your pancakes, you're just adding some cottage cheese. They add in texture and protein and just really good taste as well. And the link is there when you get this presentation. So what are some sources of protein? They're animal-based. So if your protein is animal-based, it has all 9 of those essential amino acids, which we need, right? It also has vitamin B12, which we need. If vitamin B12 can be a struggle for some vegetarians to get enough of that vitamin. They often have to supplement or take specific foods that are higher in B12. And then also heme iron, and heme iron is the most absorbable type of iron. But that doesn't mean that, if you're not an animal eater, that is fine. You can still get it from plant-based. And these are ones that are common for protein, like beans or lentils or soy or quinoa, nuts, seeds. And if you're having a plant-based, like they are good for the higher fiber and the lower saturated fat. So they each have a benefit, animal and plant. And there are some plant proteins that also have all 9 amino acids that you want, like quinoa, buckwheat, soy, and then the soy products like tofu and tempeh, nutritional yeast, which is, I I think of it like Parmesan cheese, and I know cheese is an animal product and this is not, but you can use it the same way you would a shaker of Parmesan cheese, and you just shake it on your food and it almost has that cheesy taste. Hemp seeds are one of my favorite, or hemp hearts as they're often called, and chia seeds, and there are others, but most plants do not have all 9 essential amino acids in them. So it's unique that some do. All right, just want to breeze through some common protein myths. One is more is always better. And that's not necessarily true, even though I'm sitting here saying get more, get more, get more, right? But it's not for everybody. Balance is key. Another myth is only athletes need extra protein. And to the right there, I have the picture of the red line going through the man lifting weights. And he is my athlete. And that was trying to say only athletes need extra protein. Not true. That is not saying don't do resistance training, because I want you to do resistance training. Just want to clarify what that picture means. It's great to do resistance training, but not only athletes or weightlifters need extra protein. When you're aging, pretty much everyone can benefit unless there's a health condition that would stop you from getting that extra protein. Another myth is that you can't get enough protein from plants. You definitely can, but many plants do not have all 9 of the amino acids that are essential. So it does require some planning or just thoughts. And you don't have to eat them all in one meal or, combine them like we once thought. You can spread them out throughout your day, throughout your week, and that is fine. And then the last myth that I'm going to talk about with protein is that protein shakes are required. And they are not. They're optional, definitely not mandatory. So again, just some ideas how to add more protein. If you're having oatmeal, add that nut butter, Greek yogurt. If you're having a salad, add beans, chicken, or beef. Smoothie, that yogurt or milk, and soup, add some meat or beans to what you're already eating. So just trying to get a little bit more in without changing your base meals is really the best way to do it. I keep liking these flame grilled burger, flame grilled steak pictures, don't I? So in summary, protein gives us our energy, our strength, our staying power. We want to eat it consistently throughout the day. Choose a variety of different sources. So it can come from proteins, it can come from animals if you're an animal eater. Keep it simple, keep it tasty and doable. Energy isn't about more caffeine, it's about smarter fuel. And protein is one of those smarter fuels. Now I do want to review some recipes that are good sources of protein, and they each earn guiding stars. So 2 things I want to talk about before I get to the recipes. One, this month, our dietitian's pick is the Organic Meat Company, and these are the varieties of meat, which are, as we know, amazing protein sources. And this month specifically, I have made a couple of their recipes, and I just want to say I like them for so many reasons. And the main one being they are grass-fed and grass-finished. Not all grass-fed meat is grass-finished. And I will say it totally changes the taste and for me, the texture. Like even the ground beef, it comes apart differently. It has a beautiful taste and texture, and it's so different. I think you should try it. Just if you eat meat, you got to try this one just to check it out. But it also is higher because it's grass-fed and grass-finished, higher in omega-3 fatty acids and a lot of other nutrients as well. So it does contain more nutrition than traditional beef. And they do have a lot of varieties. And this is their slide that I'm showing you. Just some of why they think they're great. They're certified organic, they're grass-fed and grass-finished, no antibiotics ever, no added hormones ever. Their cattle are never confined to feedlots ever. They roam free. no synthetic additives, and it makes their meat more nutrient dense. So you want to provide your family with something that you know is nourishing, delicious, and ethically produced meat. You can feel good about what you eat, knowing every choice contributes to a better future for all. Then before I get to recipes, next thing I want to just review is guiding stars. So when I use that terminology, you understand what it is. So guiding stars, each food item in our store is rated, as well as recipes on the savory site. So 1 star means good nutritional value, 2 stars is better nutritional value, and 3 stars is the best nutritional value. And they earn a guiding star by having more vitamins, minerals, fiber, whole grains, or omega-3 fatty acids, right? That's what our body wants. And they have less saturated fat, added sodium, added sugar, and other things that our body doesn't want. All right, here are just some couple recipes to think about. And this one is the Organic Meat Company's Quick Beef Stroganoff. And this earns 3 guiding stars. So one of the best nutritional value. And I do have a link to it. It is on Savory. It provides 33 grams of protein per serving, which is awesome. Another recipe, this is a sheet pan chicken with butternut squash and apples. And this is a great recipe also. It earns 2 guiding stars, and the link is there. It is 30 grams of protein per serving. Here is the Organic Meat Company's Moroccan Steak Bowl, and this earns 3 guiding stars, and it also has 30 grams of protein per serving. And this one I like because it is the sirloin steak meat. It also has chickpeas, but then there's sweetness added to it with those pitted dates and dried apricots and almonds. It's really a delicious recipe. If you wanted to get even higher protein, you could change out the couscous for quinoa. But yeah, this one, 3 guiding stars, like that's really hard to do in a recipe. So that's kind of amazing. And I love that. If you didn't want to eat any meat, there's an egg fried rice. This is 21 grams of protein per serving. And this is a great recipe as well. It's colorful and earns 3 guiding stars. And then the Organic Meat Company's stir-fried beef with sugar snap peas. And this one earns 1 guiding star and has 22 grams of protein. And I just want to talk about the 1 guiding star for a minute because it's the same high nutrient dense beef. It is sugar snap peas, which nothing is, there's no reason why it would not get 3 stars for that. So why is that? And why it does not get higher amount of stars is because the stir fry sauce is higher in sodium and it has added sugar to it. So if I wanted to make this recipe a 3 star, I'd probably change out the stir fry sauce for something else. But this is a delicious recipe. And, if you like stir fry sauce, go with it as is, like it's great, but it can be a little bit higher on the guiding star rating without that high sodium and a little bit of added sugar to it. So just want to explain why this gets 1 star, because it's still that nutrient dense beef and a vegetable. And ginger is great and nothing's wrong with the oil in there, but the stir fry sauce, I think, prevented it from getting an additional star. So if you want to stay connected to our team in the future, tomorrow at noon, spooky snacks with Charlotte. That should be a fun one, getting ready for Halloween. Monday is our Meal Solutions Monday with Jenna. Tuesday, Produce Spotlight, talking about grapes with Charlotte. And I am back next Wednesday in Table Talk, talking to the chef with the Philadelphia Union team. And then Thursday, I am back again, trending topics, talking about turkey and sides, helping you get ready for Thanksgiving. So everybody, have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me and take care. I am gonna stop sharing my screen. If you want to hang on, I'll look at the Q&A box and see what we have there. Answer your questions. Take care, everyone.